Geez, Marishka, you've really pulled in the crowd here. Today's interesting because we're all here in this office, and sometimes I feel like it's a victory just to be able to get a surf in my day, in my working day. And so to be able to represent your country and go to the international world Longboard Champs, whilst being part of the working class, for me it's super impressive, and I was very curious to hear about it. So Marishka's going to tell us about her adventures. Keep your questions till the end. We'll do a Q&A at the end. Thanks so much.
Yeah, cool. So I'm going to tell you a bit about what it was like taking part at the ISA World Champs. I'm going to be as real and honest as possible, so I'll tell you all the downsides also. Okay, so this was the South African team representing South Africa. Myself. This is the Tourism Minister of El Salvador, Roxy Davis, who placed third in SA Champs last year, and she's like a 9 times SA Champ. Her son, Mbuso, who placed, he came totally like, no one has really heard of him. He's never placed anywhere in SA Champs, and then last year he came second, which was an amazing achievement. He's never flown anywhere before. It was his first time on an airplane, so he got a lot of media attention because it was just like such a cool story. And then Sam, who's been SA Champ for the past 3 years, and he's like an amazing longboarder. Yeah, that was the team. So where it all began. Last year, I watched this contest like live online every year. And last year I was watching, and I just like thought like, I kind of feel like my surfing is on that level, and I was like, I could be there. And I said, I kind of in my head, I was like, okay, next year I want to be there. And it was just like a momentary thing, and I didn't like give it too much thought afterwards. But then every August we have our national championships, and yeah, in the weeks leading up, I was like, what if I like apply myself a bit and like try? And I just longboarded a bit more, and yeah, sure enough, I made the final and came second place. And then at the time I was disappointed because I wanted to win the event, and only afterwards I realized, I've actually like achieved my goal, because the top 2 athletes from the national championships get invited to this event. And then months went by, and 2 months before the actual event this year in Feb, I just wondered how it works, like if they give you a call, like an email, but no, it's actually like you get tagged in an Instagram post and added to a WhatsApp group, and then you're just on the WhatsApp group with the team, and that's it. It's very unceremonious. And then it's obviously a big decision, like whether I was actually going to go. It's a really expensive trip. Obviously, El Salvador is far, and it's you take time off work. It's opportunity cost. So yeah, and then you can. This was a shot from SA Champs last year, and then I did decide to go. And yeah, with regards to preparation, obviously for a pro surfer it's probably easier because you're doing this stuff all the time. For me, I'm like on the grind. My surf equipment I don't even think about. So my longboard, I've been surfing the same longboard for 10 years, so I had to get a board made. Steven made me this beautiful board, which I ended up not surfing, but that's a whole nother story. And then like just equipment like board bags, fins, leashes, wax, soft racks if you're driving there. I borrowed a lot of stuff. I borrowed Steven's board, Crystal's board bag, and like sort of pieced everything together. Then I had to get to planning travel plans, like booking the flights. As a South African, you need a visa just to transit through the US. So getting visas and car rental, and because it was so short notice, it was kind of hard to get accommodation as well. And the next step was funding. You obviously have to. Well, I needed help fundraising for the event, and luckily I have an amazing community, which you are all part of. And yeah, so people were so generous, and like I got to about 60% of the amount that I needed. So I didn't have to bear much of the burden myself. And then lastly, I started training. training. I thought I would do like workout sessions and stuff, but in the end it was mostly just like more surfing. And I surfed as much as I could, longboarded as much as I could, because usually I would probably shortboard more. Yeah. And then in the end I traveled with my dad. That's my dad there. And yeah, we were very thorough in packing our boards, got pool noodles for the rails, and very stoked to say that we got no dings on the way there or back. In general, I think the blazer helped, to be honest. When I showed up at the, I wore my blazer to the airport, and when we showed up there, they didn't ask too many questions, and we ended up not paying any board fees for 2 double longboard bags on the way there and back. So yeah, that was pretty incredible. Qatar, if you want to travel with longboards, Qatar is the best option. Yeah, and then in terms of travel time, you're from JBay. If you're flying from JBay, you can expect about 48 hours. If you're driving down to Cape Town, even more. I think I probably had one of the longest travel distances just because I'm coming from JBay and not Cape Town. And yeah. And then a bit about El Salvador. El Salvador is incredibly beautiful. There are these black sand beaches. We went on a little mission to find a wave here with Mbuso. The event itself is at a spot called El Sunzal. It's just a super long right-hand point break, quite similar to point, just a longer wave, and not as good in that it doesn't stand up as nicely, so it's a bit flatter, but it picks up a lot of swell, and it's very consistent. The waves are firing the whole period we were there, and yeah, it's a great longboarding wave. This was the view from our accommodation, so we were a bit further back from the beach, but yeah, beautiful view. What I did find about El Salvador, here in South Africa, we're so used to, we have like beautiful parking lots, and like the access to the beach is so easy. If you think about JBay, you've got parking lots for every surf spot pretty much, and at Point you've got benches, and it's a nice like setup. In El Salvador, it's like all these resorts and clubs and guest houses right on the beach, but no parking lots, so the general public can't really access the beach that easily. And staying a bit further back, you'd have to, okay, I was taking part in the contest, so it was easy for me, but anyone else would have to like beg these guest houses or resorts to like be able to pass through. Some of them will actually ask you for $1 just to pass through to get to the beach. So that was like, yeah, I don't know how people do it. I don't know how they're going to do that in the future, but I thought that was really like a downside. This is their national food, the pupusa, a terrible photo. It's like a pancake made from cornmeal filled with cheese and beans and jalapenos. Yeah, it's quite bland. It's not great. We are with peppering it with chili sauce, and it's not terrible, but it's also, yeah, it's like for a national food. I was like, okay, we can do better. And then it's insanely hot. Here you can see Roxy like trying to cover every inch of her body. The humidity is crazy, and if you surf, you want to surf like early in the morning or late in the evening. You can surf in the day, but you just get so hot. And the nice thing is that it's less crowded like in the middle of the day, but yeah, it's challenging to have like a long session in the day. Then a bit about the event. So the ISA is really campaigning hard to get longboarding as part of the Olympics for 2028. So all the top surfers were there, like Kaniela and Hannelore Blomfield and Elise Lemon. This is Taka Inoue. And yeah, I think it was a record of 39 nations taking part, 140-ish athletes. Yeah, and like the level of surfing, especially on finals day, is like insane. Especially the girls, like they just push it every year. It just gets better and better. A few new nations like South Korea and, well, I can't remember the other ones. Chinese Taipei, I think they were new, took part this year. And yeah, I was like overall really impressed by the Asian teams. Like just their focus and dedication, and like it seems like they get a lot of funding as well. They've got a big team of coaches and managers, and yeah, so countries like Japan, the Philippines, career did so well considering it was their first year. Yeah, so it was really cool to see. Yeah, and then it opens with an opening ceremony. The South African team is known for their blazers, so we're the only country that wears blazers, and we were sweating. It was so hot. But yeah, it's obviously such an honor to wear the Springbok blazer. And it's just such a cool feeling. Like you come and like everyone's in their uniform, and people are like asking you for interviews and asking you questions, so you feel like such a celebrity, and it's like such a great experience. Am I missing anything? We can go to the next. And then 2 people on the team get selected to be like flag bearer and sand bearer. So that was also such an honor because it was for myself and Mbuso the first time we were going. Mbuso was the flag bearer and I was the sand carrier, whatever you call it. And so yeah, everyone brings sand from the beaches at their country, and it all gets put together in this container. So this is obviously not JBay sand, that's from Komiki. So it was the whitest sand out of all of it. Yeah, and then also feels super cool. Each country gets their own van, and yeah, it's like this massive parking lot full of 40 vans, and you have access to it pretty much 24 hours. They pick you up, drop you off, take you over where you want to go. So yeah, it felt super cool, like traveling as a team. Then a few days before the contest, I actually injured my shoulder quite badly, and I had to go to the medical team at the contest, and it was so funny. They had to actually like call the ISA and make sure that the pain meds they were giving me meet the doping regulations. So I thought that was really funny. Yeah, and then the day before you go in for board measuring. It's mostly to check that your board is long enough, so it can't be too short. Mine was almost too long. You can see it was like scraping the roof there. I actually don't know if a board can be too long, but I'm guessing not. Yeah, and then this was like sort of the contest setup. You can see all the flags along the beach, and then these are like palapas where teams will fight over getting like the one that's closest to the contest site. So you have to go like super early in the morning and put down your flag and make sure you reserve the best one. And because it's so, I think you can go up. What's really cool about this event is that you're obviously surfing for yourself to achieve your best result, but it's also a team event, so you're surfing for your country, and it's so cool. Like everyone, you're down at the beach to support everyone in your heat, and like countries form allegiances, and you go to support other countries, and yeah, it's just like such a cool feeling. Yeah, so we had lots of flags with, and then we got 2 sets of t-shirts, these green ones and these white ones, and we'd like alternate them every day. Yeah, and then my heat. My heats. You get 2 chances at the ISA, the main round and then the repertoire round. I was so nervous before that I actually couldn't sleep the night before. I don't know if you can see, but I was like feeling sick with nerves. And yeah, I didn't have my performance was not bad, but not what I wanted. I'd set myself goals and I like actually did not reach them. So yeah, do you want to go? So I think what I would talk more about is like what I would do better, what I would change for next year, or what advice I would pass on to anyone going next year. I would do a lot different with boards. So as I mentioned, the wave is it picks up a lot of swell, and a lot of the time it's quite big, and in the afternoon it gets quite bumpy, and the board that I was riding is wide, very wide and very long, which is great for nose riding, but it picks up all the chops, so I was getting bumped off so easily. And yeah, that's just something I couldn't really have known beforehand. So yeah, I would definitely do that differently. Sam actually mentioned in his one post-it interview, he shaped his own boards, and specifically for that reason he made the nose a bit narrower so that it wouldn't absorb all the chops. And yeah, that's just something that I would do differently. I really noticed that the teams with coaches like really did a lot better. They weren't necessarily better surfers, but just their performance in heats was a lot better. So I think having a coach would be a big help, because when you're preparing for a heat, you're like waxing up your board, waxing up your backup board, making sure you're stretching out your leash. So there's like so many little things you're doing, and just to have a set of eyes on the waves, watching and coming up with a heat strategy and helping you put together a good solid plan would have been very helpful. And then thirdly, as a team, there were one or two people on our team that only decided quite last short notice whether they'd be able to make it, just because if they'd be able to raise funds, etc. And so we weren't able to stay as a team, and I think that would really just would have unified us as a team, but also made like logistics a lot easier. And then lastly, some countries, I think France, Germany, a few countries actually do trips to El Salvador in the year beforehand to train for that event. Obviously, coming from South Africa, it's a long trip, it's super expensive, but I would say what would really help is to come 2, maybe even 3 weeks early and get used to the wave and accustomed to it. And yeah, I think the South African surfers have a lot of talent, but just lacking a bit in support and funding, but that's all stuff that can be worked on. Okay, that's it.
Cool. Amazing, thanks. I feel like I was there with you almost.
I think it's going to be in El Salvador for quite a while. They've put up like permanent structures there. The government puts in a lot of money to have it there, and they've got, the ISA is hosting several events there as well as the WSL. So they've really made it like a sweet spot to come to, and they're very hospitable. Yeah, like the tourism minister was there every day, like just making sure everything's fine. They gave us gifts, so yeah, I think it'll be there for a while. There is actually a ruling that it's only supposed to be at a place for 2 years in a row. So I'm not sure how that works out, but it's been there for several years now as far as I know. "100% notice it." It's directly supported by the president, so the president puts a lot of support behind that. What we can learn, I don't know. I think what they could do differently is just think about the long-term sustainability of it. It's obviously great having all these people all the time, but it's like I mentioned with the beach access, for example, like it caters for a small amount of tourists, but if you had to have a lot of tourists that are staying further back, for example, so I think we're actually doing things well. I think it's the way the beaches are set up here are so lovely for surfers and very beautifully groomed. So I don't know if there's much we could do any better. I just get it through Surfing South Africa. You tell them your size and they send it to you.
And they just
Okay. Yeah. I use the US dollar, but they also accept Bitcoin apparently everywhere. I didn't use it, but they do. Yeah.
They're the first country that has officially declared Bitcoin as more of their currency to use.
And you see a lot of promotion of that, like of the Bitcoin wallets or whatever. Yeah, they're very progressive. The president has like a lot of support just for everything he's done for the country to take it from where it was to where it is now. It's really incredible. I don't think he does, but maybe we should get him into it. Oh yeah, it was so lovely. I was really thankful just to have someone to travel with. Like I didn't want to spend all those hours by myself, and yeah, for him it was also, I think, really cool to see how it all went down. South Africa placed, I think I was like 23rd or something. Not good. If you think about the waves we have here and we should be doing better. Oh yeah, good question. Yeah, I don't think so. No. We were, yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm trying to think now.
I guess I can look it up as well.
No. You know why I know, actually, because El Salvador has implemented something recently, end of last year, where all African countries have to pay $1,000 entry fee as a visa. And we were the only ones that were affected by that, so I'm assuming there were no other African countries. And we were exempt from it, but yeah, that's something to note. Yeah, good question. Before I went, I was like, I'm going to do this once and never again. Now that I know, yeah, I would do it again for sure. Yeah, I think I would be better prepared, and I could see even Roxy, who has done this sort of thing so much, was so much just better in like managing her heats. So I think experience does count a lot, and I would love to get another chance to do it.
Yeah, from listening to you, what struck me was how much more there is to it than simply
just showing up.
The championships here and then.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you have to first get selected, and then well, you have to first get selected for a provincial team, then national team, and then. I think it was 2 weeks, just under 2 weeks. Yeah.
And I think,
yeah,
Marishka,
thank you.
Thanks so much for sharing.
Thank you very much.
Stories with us.